Okay, it turns out I was actually quite wrong about the Galvanized Aptitude mod not working with the Incarnon forms of the Paris and the Dread. So it's time to fix that particular mistake. We're here in the simulacrum with Mag. Okay, so we can really demonstrate this by killing these two corrupted butchers. We'll just use this. 9k, 17k, 17k, 45k, 34k. Just notice how the damage has increased after the first shot. 11k. Let's get some Incarnon back. 11k, 28k, 57k. Just notice how the damage is ramping up quite spectacularly. So yes, Galvanized Aptitude is in fact working on both the Dread and the Paris Prime Incarnons. With this knowledge now, let's have a look at a new build, slightly different, that obviously takes all of this into account. This is the build that I am now using on the Paris Prime. So basically what I've done is I've swapped out Prime Cryo rounds with Galvanized Aptitude. Gundition Overload. Back on the menu, boys. And because I still want to maintain viral damage, because I think viral damage and viral procs are very, very strong, we're going for Rime rounds. So not only do I get that cold damage for, you know, more viral damage, I also get that status chance as well, which basically raises my status chance all the way up to 187.4% no matter which version of an arrow that I am shooting. And the reason why I've decided to also get rid of Point Strike and replace it with Rime rounds is because I figured I'm getting a lot of crit chance out of my Riven. I'm also getting a lot of crit chance out of Galv Scope. So I think for the time being, I can manage without Point Strike. I did try running not Prime Shred, so a build without Prime Shred. Honestly, without this fire rate, it sucks. So the rest of this build is pretty much the same, and of course that status chance, that massive amount of status chance, basically should mean that Massage Bar will be healing me with every arrow, so I should be quite tanky as well, at least on the health side, giving me a little bit of time to get my shields back. How does this build feel? Let's have a look. So, what's the idea? We'll counter pulse these guys. Kill that one. Kill that one with a headshot. Perfect. You might not be able to see the numbers, but there's a lot of damage going on here, and naturally these guys are dying instantly. I think, in general, this is not going to make a huge difference to my experience with the Paris Incarnon, as well as the Dread Incarnon. This won't make a huge difference, but the big thing I think is going to be against things like Acolytes and potentially even bosses as well. This is really going to be a big deal because the damage should be ramping up quite a lot. I look forward to eventually getting an R5, what is it called, longbow sharp shot or something like that. I'm looking forward to R5ing that and then checking out what kind of crazy ass damage I can do with that. At that point, I probably might make a video as incendiary as I don't need the primary deadhead anymore because longbow sharp shot is my new best friend. We'll see what happens with that when I eventually R5 that, because, you know, we can always talk about it theoretically, but I'd like to look at it on a much more practical basis. Let me just leave all of this in the comments below. Would you have made the same decision as I have of getting rid of that critical chance and replacing it with Rime rounds? Let me know in the comments. I did consider running the Incarnon tree option that allows me to have some additional fire rate, or rather a faster charge time on punch through hit. I don't particularly like it. It's called Ardent Trigger. I'm not a huge fan of it because after trying it, it seems like A, it's kind of bugged in the simulacrum, and B, punch through hit, which means you kind of only can use that when there is a group of enemies and one of them happens to be behind the other. In some missions, I do find myself going up against a lot of singular enemies, which does make Ardent Trigger a lot more cringe. And it's not like, oh, if two enemies are standing next to each other and you hit them both simultaneously with your Incarnon Wave of Death, that counts. I don't think that counts. In fact, I've noticed it not counting. So I don't think that's an option. I personally am not a fan of it. If you find yourself having great success with Ardent Trigger, especially in like survival missions, then absolutely feel free to go for Ardent Trigger, drop Prime Shred, put your crit chance back on, and you'll be able to get a lot more red crits faster. But as you could already see, even without Point Strike, we're still hitting red crits, and everything's dying instantly. I think we'll be alright. Anyway, let me know what you think about all this in the comments below. Otherwise, hope you guys enjoyed. If you like this video, hit that like button, subscribe for more Warframe content. And until next time, I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Cannot blame these creatures. They are being led by a false prophet, an impostor who knows not the secrets of the void. The Tenno are lost, and they will resist. But I, Vor, will cleanse this place of their impurity. This death is temporary. My existence is forever. I cannot be destroyed.